welcome everyone to a very special episode of the If You Know, You Know podcast. The most frequent feedback that we got last season was that we just need Mike to get a co-host or some co-hosts that just know what's going to happen in the game, that have some kind of expert level of insight. And to all of you guys, I finally found that tonight. So we've got a little round table of UK Survivor hosts going on. So I'm not actually going to do any more introductions because I think everyone can introduce themselves. Tell us a little bit about the game that you host.
Yep. Hi, my name is Rob. I'm the host and creator of Survivor Game UK. We're a 4-day, 3-night live event based up in the northeast of England. We take 16 people from across the UK, Europe, and even the world. And we play Survivor, basically. And we do challenges, we do tribals, we film everything. And the third season's coming out soon. It's called Outwit versus Outplay versus Outlast. And you might see some familiar faces in here that are taking part.
Hopefully, you're looking at this picture and maybe recognizing a couple of familiar faces from this podcast right here. Tim.
Hello, my name is Tim. I run Survivor Warehouse. So I own a business up in Manchester in the Northwest, and I love the game of Survivor. So I thought to do a 1-day live reality game of Survivor. I've done 2 seasons, and I am always being pushed for a third one by Mr. Robert Winchurch from SG UK. But yeah, you can call me a little bit more of a Survivor newbie because my game is actually the youngest of the game. Actually, the seniority has to be Mr. Matt Butler with the most senior. But yeah, 1-day live reality game. We like things fast. We like playing games. We like outwitting our playing. Lots of idols, lots of dramatic moments.
Matt.
Hello, I'm Matt Butler. I'm host of the Butler Games, which is a currently 1-day LRG based in Liverpool. Hopefully soon to be more than 1 day, but watch this space. The Butler Games is not necessarily Survivor only. We do take some elements from Survivor, like immunity idols, shot in the darks, tribal challenges, things like that. But we also dip our toe into Big Brother territory, the challenge territory. I think we've even done like some Devil's Plan territory in the past. Like there's a lot of different stuff that we steal from. But yes, we are currently editing together season 9. Season 9 will be the first one that will be available to watch in an episode format. Everything else, the first, I think, 7 seasons were mostly just on the day with some footage put together afterwards. And then season 8, we did a bit of an Instagram thing. But this one, season 9, will have episodes coming to YouTube, hopefully this year. It was filmed 2 years ago, so fingers crossed.
Yeah, I know the pain of a long editing process. Yes. For all of you narcissistic Survivor Southampton players and viewers, don't worry, we'll be getting to you guys very soon because the intention here is to do a draft of the cast. So everyone here has now watched episode 1 or enough of it to sort of have a stab at drafting players onto their team. So we'll get to that very shortly. But I thought let's just take the opportunity to ask you guys how you all got into hosting your own shows.
So I was a huge fan of the first ever one that came on ITV back in like 2000, 2001. I loved it, kind of fell into doing online versions of it. So I found the American version and all the different reality games that were over there. And then I kind of took a bit of a break from it. And then during COVID lockdowns, kind of fell back into it again. And then as we were coming out of that bubble, it was myself and another person. We all decided to kind of get together and try and build something. And it was just very much a shot in the dark to get it done. And we managed to get 16 people to come out to the woods in the northeast and just kind of go from there. So I've been a fan since I was how old was I when I was 2000? Jesus. Yeah. So I was about 14, 15 and I'm pushing 40 now. So that's how much I love this show.
So similar to Rob, I was always a big fan of these sort of reality shows, particularly the American formats of like Big Brother compared to the English format. Just the lack of like a popularity contest, and it is all in-house. You have to work your way through. And then I moved into a new flat, which I'm currently still in, 10 years later almost. And I was like, you know what, for my birthday this year, I'm going to make everyone compete in a Big Brother type show. And everybody came and they got very, very drunk and it was absolutely chaotic. But they were obsessed. So we ended up doing another one. Like a few months later, followed by another one a few months after that, and then it just started becoming a yearly thing, and then so on and so forth. And we just kept taking different things from different places and making it work. And it's been very fun. I've even had my mum and dad come and play, which was insane.
Wow, I
They
did
will
not know
never
that.
play again because they were nightmares.
Did they have big targets?
So my spoiler for season 4, but my dad ended up winning.
Wow.
Voted my mum out, but my mum also voted herself out. Yeah, it was a crazy season. It's known as the season where everybody cheated because my entire family was playing and they were just complete cheats. And every time they tried to get one up over me, they would, which is why they will not come back again.
Oh, that's sad. No, but I love that. I love that you created something and it was just like so much interest that it kept going on and on and on. And wow, 9 seasons, incredible job. Yeah, so for me, I've always loved hosting games. So ever since I was a kid, really enjoyed shows like Raven, Jungle Run, Crystal Maze, and my two older sisters would like host games for me to play in my own home. So I really grew up wanting to be a games master, and I became that when I was at church and like youth groups and stuff. I've always been like called the games master. So now I have a business running that, and then I was really passionate about obviously games, but then seeing Survivor come up on my YouTube feed. I think it was during maybe lockdown or before, and it was like, this is the greatest game you'll ever play. Outwit, outplay. And I was like, whoa, what's this? And I started like binging like highlight reels. So I know like probably like 30 winners, but I've not even watched their seasons because I've just binged all the highlights and stuff. But yeah, I really like the strategic element to Survivor. I really like the gameplay element. I like how you can be in control of your destiny. Like it's not just up to chance. So yeah, wanted to do one myself. Want to do a 1 day thing because obviously busy man, got a lot of commitments, but we managed to run one because I managed to wrangle people together, and a second one where another few distinguished gentlemen in this call might have played as well.
I'm interested to know from all you guys how you go about recruiting for your games.
So for my casting, I hope to try and get people who were fans of the show but didn't know that there was a community like this. So try and keep it as less tight knit from other games. And for me, that's just trying to keep the experience more authentic, and then hopefully create new friendships and things like that happen outside of the game. But for me, it was just a case of casting as wide a net as I could, going on to different platforms, Discord, Reddit, even using paid ads to target certain demographics to try and, what are their interests? Are they age between this? Are they this job? Are they that? So, I threw like a tenner in for 2 weeks to see what I could find. And, we found some really amazing people. And, we've had people travel from across Europe and even, the outside of Europe as well to come in and play. So, I think that's just the magic of how great the show is. And, I'm very appreciative that they're able to kind of spend their time, spend the money to come out and do something like this. So that's why I mainly do this.
Matt, is yours more restricted to family members, or is it branched out a little bit over the 9, 10 seasons now?
It's branched out. So I think I'm a little bit similar to the way that you do it, Mike, where it's kind of more inwardly, like if someone's showing an interest in it, then they might get invited to come play next season and things like that, as opposed to casting outwardly and casting the wide net and bringing people in. I like to say that the Butler Games is a show where the rules change more often than the cast does. There's certain players who have been in every single season. There are certain players who've done 4 or 5, and people who've only done 1 and then bounced. If people enjoy it and people play a good game, they're most likely going to get invited back to play again. As long as they enjoy it, they probably will get invited back at some point, regardless if they played a great game, because people change. People can surprise you the next time they come back, which we have had. But yeah, it's definitely more inward. It's more who you know, and rather than outwardly casting. But hopefully for season 10, we are hoping to get some fresh meat in there to ruin the vets games because they're getting a little too settled. We got to mix it up.
Hmm. Tim, how about you? Are you somewhere in between the two?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. So a lot of people in my church know me as like a games master. So I'm like really wrangling people together to see who I can get to play. My very first season, I got two of my guys from kind of like church to play, and then I was thinking a little bit more kind of like, how do I bring about a game where there's not like pre-existing relationships and alliances? Because I'm all about like equity in times of like the game. So I don't want someone to have a really strong position because they know more people. So for our very first season, I actually only kind of went ahead with it because I got guaranteed four people wanted to play, and they were my friends in London. So they were called the London Four. They came up to play, divided them into two tribes, and then I added different people to different tribes by like just asking different people I knew from different friendship groups that I had. And then our second season was really more a little bit like an open cast kind of casting call. And yeah, we got different people to play. Some people who I'm very close to, some people are not very close to, but it's been a great way to get to know new people and get them to like know each other and become friends as well, which I think is very fun.
Yeah, I've often found that one of the things I enjoy most about editing and watching back my seasons is just watching two different people interact that I didn't remember doing it in the season. I'm just like, I wonder how these guys spoke to each other. And normally it's just a lot of lack of eye contact between them. Um, I guess a question that I think a lot of our viewers might be interested to know is what would you guys say are the best players that you've had in terms of what's the sort of attribute that you look for that you'd be like, I'm definitely inviting this person back? Is it like maybe the way someone gives a confessional, or do they have to be great at the game?
It's a good question. So I've said this to every single person that I've accepted onto my season. I've said this to you, Mike, and I've said this to Matt as well. My philosophy is, would I go for a pint with this person? That's my whole thing. I know that you'll play within 30 seconds of beating you. As long as you've got the big energy and you're like, yeah, let's do it, I'm ready, then that's it. You are halfway there. And if I could see myself buying you a pint, then that's good enough for me and you are playing.
I think as well, it's like if you surprise me, if there's a move I think you're gonna make and then you go do something else, and it's like, why did you do that? Like, surprise me, throw something out there. Yeah, I think similarly to Rob, as long as you're kind of vibing with people, it should be fine. And also a big thing is being able to take getting voted out well. If you're somebody who's gonna freak out over it or take it personally,
Yeah.
like it's okay to take it personally in the moment and then calm down a little bit after. Like that's just human. But yeah, if you're still kind of salty about it years later, that's not a great look.
Yeah. I think for me, it's really about like the storytelling element because I think, whenever we're building a season, we're really building behind a central theme or story, and we want to see like different plot lines really come about. So we want to see people who are, playing really fast, really hard, or some people who are playing like the long, patient game. Like I want each character to have really like a key storyline for how they wanted to play. And I think that kind of shines through in the different people who we cast to play because they all come with their own kind of different nuance. Like no player is kind of like the same. You've got different players who are more extroverted, people who are a little bit more kind of sneaky, and some people who are a lot more strategic. So it's been really fun just getting to know different people and getting to see how they will actually play in a more pressurized situation.
Yeah, I'd also say off the back of what Matt said, actually, I've noted that the people in my games, if they're voted out, it's the ones that then still actively interested in the game after that. You get some people just kind of go and hang out or chat to their other mates that are also there. But it's the people that's just like, oh yeah, do you mind if I help film, or do you mind if I do this, or oh yeah, also I'm coming to watch the tribal council. Those are the people. It's just like, okay, I'm 100% bringing them back because they're interested and they're already thinking what they're going to do in the next season. One that did just occur to me, for Rob Matt especially, I'm not sure if Tim has played in any of the others games yet. Off the back of playing, has that affected the way that you host or edit a season or look back on how a certain situation went?
Yeah, so when I played Warehouse, I was last when I played Warehouse last year, I was kind of really interested to see how Tim would host and how he would handle a group of people because I'd already done a season back in 2023 And this was a few months out of starting season 2. So I was looking a lot at Tim to be like, how's he doing it? How's he able to like wrangle everyone together, and how does he work with his team? So I did take a lot of inspiration from Tim moving forward into season 2 and then season 3. And just how we handled it a lot was just, it helped motivate me to try and be a better host, because the first time I did it, I was strictly like the challenge guy. I wasn't the challenge and tribal. So I know I keep repeating myself. A lot of the stuff that I get, I'm stroking his ego. But how Tim kind of ran Warehouse impacts how Game UK works. And if it wasn't for that experience, however short my time was in that game, it really has had a knock-on effect, because how he's done it is just brilliant, and how he's able to like kind of differentiate between like player, and then when that person's voted out, you know, how when I was voted out, he came straight over to me and was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it happened." And I didn't really do that in the first season, but then like subsequent seasons, I've gone to the player afterwards. I'm like, "Oh, I can't believe you've done this and done that." So yeah, I feel like I'm just stroking his ego now for the sake of it, but it's genuine. I wouldn't be the host I am without Tim.
Wow, I did not know any of that, by the way. But I receive all of it. Thank you so much, Rob.
You're welcome.
Well, I hated Warehouse. I thought it was shit. I'm joking. No, so Warehouse was the first one I played. I'd hosted 9 seasons of the Butler games before I'd played anyone else's games. So I've yet to host a season post being a player and kind of stepping into that other side. But I did Warehouse, and then I did Marooned, and I've done Survivor Game UK. So, and I did a Big Brother in Nashville as well with my friend Sam, which was very cool. And again, all very different production styles, different amounts of like teams. Like Marooned had like a huge production team and a huge edit team, whilst obviously there's less for. I mean, the Nashville one didn't have an edit team; it was just kind of the game day. But there was someone filming some bits and stuff. Obviously, Tim, you were filming as you were going, and Rob. So I don't know. I think it will. I think I've picked up some really good tips from all the hosts that I've kind of interacted with. And yeah, I think I've yet to see kind of how that affects my hosting. But again, I'm very inspired by all of the games I've been to and how they kind of run everything. And just seeing the level of detail and different things that people focus on is also really interesting. What about you, Mike? Do you think having competed, you will change your hosting style?
My casts are they're a lot more rowdy. They need a lot more corralling than I felt like maybe Rob was required to do in the season that I was in as a player. So I'd love to be able to take Rob's patience through to my game, but I don't think my players deserve it. They just need to be yelled at quite a lot of the time. Otherwise, they'll just start chatting and trying to strategize, and then trying to break all of my challenges. That's what they do. They always try and think of some sneaky little way to find loopholes in all of the rules. They need to be put in line constantly.
Try having them drunk. It's very hard when they've been drinking.
How does that work? Because like in my head, that sounds like a recipe for disaster.
It is, but it's a fun disaster. No, most people take it easy. So half the people are driving, so they're not drinking. It's like season 1 of Butler Games, we had like it was drinking games was the competition, because it was like a birthday party. And then we kind of got rid of that, where there was no forced drinking in any of the games. It was just, you can have a drink if you want to have a drink whilst you play. Most people don't go too crazy. It tends to be when they get voted out, you see them drinking a lot. But yeah, overall, it's calmed down. We've had seasons that are significantly more sober than other seasons, and there's like certain players. Lindsay, who's a player who's been in all seasons, she also has an alter ego that gets called Ginzy, because at a certain point she gets drunk and cannot play the game anymore.
I love that. Staying on the cost of alcohol, I originally wanted to have alcohol in the game as like a reward for doing the merge or like the Final Five or whatever. But then I thought, I'm not going to give 10 strangers alcohol and then tell them to go into the woods, because that just feels like a recipe for disaster. Someone's going to fall and get themselves impaled on a tree. So quickly brush that aside. So, sorry for those that want to play in the future. You're not getting alcohol from me.
Yeah, same with me. Liability and insurance, business premise just does not mix. So it's never going to happen. Go to the Butler games if you want alcohol.
True. We're the rowdy
that's the ones we've blocked to. Yeah.
We've got to have a USP, we've got to separate ourselves from you guys. We're the party.
I don't want players in my game having any fun, not if I can avoid it. all strategy. One more quick fire one before we jump in. Final 2 or final 3?
2 for me. I feel like 3, generally you always have one who's just kind of like rode on someone's coattails. They don't really pay too much kind of like attention in the final voting. I think there are certain indications where the third person can take away votes from number 2, which really impacts who wins number 1. But I prefer just having 2 outright candidates and the best player winning.
From a production standpoint, for me, doing a one-day game, I think a final 3 is significantly easier because it's just one less round where you have to get someone. It's one less double elimination or one less like full game and tribal and everything else that you have to go through. So I do like a final 3 for that reason. I do think strategically in the game, a final 2, you do end up with stronger candidates usually. But not necessarily. Like, you can get 3 very strong people at the end. You can also get 3 not very strong people at the end. It's just look at the draw.
For me, I have 2 perspectives on this. As a viewer, I love a final 2 because, in my opinion, I think Boston Rob broke the final 3 by bringing 2 goats. Whereas final 2, from an audience perspective, I like final 2 because I like a versus kind of thing. But from a production standpoint, I love a final 3 just because typically in Survivor, like the first person out at the merge is always like missing out on the jury. They don't get the full experience. I don't like that. I want everyone in the merge to have a say at the end. So that's why I favour a 3.
Well, I guess let's go straight into all of presumably the Survivor Southampton lot, and now this is the part they skipped to. So welcome back to all of them.
Yeah, put a timestamp on it.
Yeah, they've skipped the rest.
Can I begin by saying how sad I am that Will's not in this? I thought Will is such a player that I was like, looking at the cast, I was like, if he's there, I immediately want Will.
Oh man, it wasn't through lack of trying. Like all of the people you would have wanted back from previous seasons were probably asked. But we couldn't make it. I know, an excellent character from season 2, and devastated to not have him. And I think we would have seen a lot more questionable gameplay from him this season had he been there. So I apologise. He's one of many great players that hopefully our new players will be able to live up to the legacy of.
I was excited to see Big Dog. He makes me so happy. I don't know his name. I don't know his proper name, but
I assume that is his real name.
Yeah. I'd love to see a birth certificate with that. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Big Dog. I hope I never learn his first name.
Mike, how does this work? Like, who gets first pick? How does the draft happen?
Okay, well, excellent question. So first of all, we'll just run through the rules. So it's not just if you pick the winner, then you win the whole thing. It's a little bit more intricate than that. So just because you pick the winner doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to win the whole draft. You have to have a strong team. So obviously we have 3 drafters here. We have Rob, we have Tim, and we have Matt, which means that 15 of the 18 players will be drafted. The remaining 3, we'll find out what exactly happens to them. But so we'll just run through. Obviously, if you pick the winner, so at the end, someone will win. One of the final 2 will be chosen. 50 points there if you have drafted that winner. My season, we also have a redemption challenge. So mainly because it's not something I'm personally a huge fan of on TV, but I always feel terrible to have people rock up and then, out after round 1. So at the end of our first day, we'll have a redemption challenge. So this will be 1 or maybe more players coming back in for the merge, and then that's the only redemption challenge we have. So if you have a player who is voted out pre-merge, comes back into the game, that's 30 points. If at any point a player that you've drafted correctly plays an idle on a round that they would otherwise have been voted out and saves himself, that's 30 points there. If they play an advantage correctly, So I think we saw a banker vote in episode 1. So I believe one finished in possession of Lenny, another finished in the possession of Strath. If either of those banks enough votes and then later on plays it successfully, then that'll be plus 20 there. If anyone at any points finds an idol or an advantage, 10 points. If anyone at any points wins individual immunity, 10 points. If you vote for the player that was eliminated, then that's a 5 points. And then if you play your shot in the dark correctly, like for example Zhao did in episode 1, because he knew he should have played it, that's 10 points. And then if he called it correctly, that's 30 points. And then the only occasions where you can lose points is so from 3rd to 18th, you get a minus point for the finishing position. So if Zhao had been drafted and he loses redemption, he'll finish in 18th place. So that's a minus 18. If you are voted out and you are holding an immunity idol at the time, that's a minus 30. If you misplay an advantage, that's minus 10. If one of the players that you've drafted misplays an advantage. If the player that you've drafted is voted out, that's minus 5. And finally, sitting out of the challenge is also worth a minus 5 penalty. Mm-hmm. We'll just be keeping track of that as the season progresses. Obviously, we will hope to reconvene at the end of the season to establish who the true king of, I guess, Survivor hosts is, based solely upon this draft. And then, I don't know, I'm sure there'll be some prize, like maybe if we ever do another draft, they can choose the draft order, something like that. Or they can, I don't know, they get to be called the king or so, I don't know, whatever we want the prize to be.
I will donate a set of season 4 buffs to the winner.
Wow.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you, Robert.
So, big stakes here. So the way that we will run the draft is, so we'll do a snake draft. Let's say it goes Rob, Tim, Matt. So Rob would make the first pick, then Tim, then Matt, then Tim, then Rob, then Tim, Matt. So we go back and forth through there until all 15 players are exhausted. What happens to the remaining 3 players? Well, they become one of Mike's minions. I will get the remaining 3 players, so I'm probably not going to win, but if you guys leave me the top 3, then maybe I will. In honor of Zhao, we will determine the order of the draft based upon a shot in the dark dice roll. So does everyone want to call their number, and then I'll roll the dice, and then whoever gets it right can choose where they go in the draft.
1.
6.
4.
Okay, we've got a 4. So who called 4? Was that Rob?
Yeah.
Where would you like to go on the draft?
Let me go first. Why not?
Okay. 6 comes up next. So I think that's Matt. Where do you want to go? Do you want to go second? Because second means that you always get the second pick, but you get no back-to-backs.
Then do I want to go second? I'll go third.
Wow. Strategy.
Oh, then it's already in the correct order on the screen.
Yeah,
actually.
that was also what I thought.
Yeah, there you go.
Totally.
One other thing we need to determine: do points from episode 1 count?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
We've all got the same information. Some of us might have watched it twice, and some of us might have only watched bits, but still.
I assume Rob's been watching it on a separate screen while we've been chatting.
You say that, actually. I'm actually watching it. I don't know if you can see.
There's no way you can
that's the immunity challenge. Wonderful.
Yeah. I'm catching up.
Matt, do you want to give Rob like a 1 minute really quick summary, or like 10 seconds?
Oh, that's
No, don't do that. Don't help him.
Yeah.
That's his own fault.
Yeah, you really want Zhao, bro?
Yeah, I think so.
That's definitely who should be your first pick.
Zhao obviously is eligible to be drafted because obviously redemption challenge, so there is a chance he could return to the game, but obviously you will immediately be hit with the -5. But he did play a shot in the dark, so that's already, he's probably on a +5 right now. So Zhao might not be looking too bad. Rob, obviously, first pick of the draft. Who would you like?
I mean, I would be a hypocrite because I was bigging up Zhao in the SG group chat.
I think the hashtag it's Zalva.
It's Zalva.
Yeah.
I mean, it's temporarily Zalva at the moment. So I'm going to take Zhao. And if he lets me down, I will be coming for him.
Okay.
What's going on?
This is a wild first pick, but I love it.
All right, so Zhao is the first member of Team Rob. is presumably everyone's gutted. Everyone else was going to also try and draft Zal.
Yeah.
Nah, Zal, you're dead to me.
Listen, first out, first picked. I mean, you can't ask for better than that.
He's letting down the Asians.
Tim, who you picking first?
I want Big Dog, please.
Oh, okay, that's
Big
a
choice.
big name right there. Big Dog on his third appearance out of three on the
I'm just thinking,
Survivor.
Big Dog knows how to play the game. He's got certain existing kind of like relationships with people. He knows what to do. So I'm banking on Big Dog. And also, I really want to take him away from Rob. So
Tim, I mean, honestly.
Tim, have you seen a lot of season 2 of Survivor Southampton?
no, I think I've seen more of season 1. I
More
might
of
have like
season 1.
glimpsed over 2.
Season 2, where it was one tribe essentially steamrolled, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Ruber tribe, the Red tribe, got beaten up pretty handily. You could argue mainly due to Noel hacking the challenges, Strath being particularly good in the challenges, and Will being particularly poor in the challenges for the Red team. But Big Dog, one of the few survivors of the Red tribe, making an impressive run into the season. So I think Big Dog can never be a bad pick.
Mm.
Okay, Matt.
Okay, so I picked this person in the SG UK group chat, so I'm going to stick with them. I feel even better about picking them after watching the episode. I'm going with Tate. My boy Tate.
Wow. Okay, making his way to the Pineapple Squad.
Yeah. I think he's in a good position already. Like, everybody seems to want to be his friend. And he's downplaying how good he actually is, I'm sure of it.
I think probably the youngest cast member, so could work very much for him, could work very much against him with with a lot of these other players. A lot of them very socially integrated within the frisbee scene, like your Knowles and your Lennys. But maybe only knowing a few people could be an advantage this season. So Matt, you get the double pick here. Who are you drafting with Tate?
Okay, this is hard because there's a few that I want, and I need to think strategically about if anyone else is going to pick them.
But you get 2.
I'm not going to tell you. I have lists, and I have asterisks next to the people I want.
Nerd.
Yeah, I told you. I did my research. Who do I want? I think I want Lenny.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to go for the other tribe, so I'm mixing it up. And yeah, I just think he's got a really good. He was the first confessional, right? He's like the first intro, which is always a good sign if we're going by Edgix. And yeah, I just think with his connection to his sister as well this season, I think that's very good. Also, if I'm not wrong, was Lenny one of the ones who figured out the tropical thing?
He did.
But he didn't get the idol. But you didn't say that Lizzie figured it out, which means Lenny figured it out and then did not tell his sister, which means he's ready to cut her if he needs to. So that's why I'm going for Lenny.
I'm sure Lenny will be very pleased that he's been picked so early in the draft. So well done, Lenny. Okay, Tim, back to you.
I think that's a bit of a spanner because I wanted Lenny.
Ah, I knew it.
Yeah, I kind of don't want to go double pink as well. I actually feel like green's going to be a bit of a train wreck at some point, I think. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna go for Noel.
Okay.
I wanted to go for someone from green, but I just feel like green is gonna implode at some point.
Yeah, no, not a bad pick. Obviously makes it an impressive run in season 1 against all odds, some might say. I'm not sure you lose points for being voted against. So you got to imagine he'll be a player that will pick up a lot of votes over the course of the season.
True.
Why?
Okay.
Why does no one like Noel?
Season 1, he received votes almost every tribal council,
Oh, damn.
but sort of somehow survived and made quite an impressive run in that game. Season 2, he was unfortunately they all got together at the merge and were like, okay, this time we're actually going to get him.
And Noel forgets to send in his intro, right? That's
yes.
Yeah, no, you can have him, Tim. He's not organized enough.
No, I've definitely not thought this through as much as you.
Okay, Rob, back to you then for a double pick here.
Yeah, okay. So for my first pick, I am going to be a proud feminist and I'm going to choose Beth.
No,
Damn. Uh,
I wanted Beth.
I wanted
Wow.
that too.
That's what you get. No, I think Beth is, based from what I can see so far on the episode, apart from her being blindfolded a lot, I think no one's going to go after a female, especially this early on in the game. I think that's just bad optics. I think she's going to be able to blend into the background and kind of get in people's ears. So that's kind of my reason why I think she's going to be a bit of a silent assassin. So yeah, that's why I'm choosing Beth.
Yeah, historically in Survivor Southampton, women have done very well in the season. So I think, yeah, a good pick there.
Yep. And another one, yeah?
Mhm.
Yeah, Mr. Mike Price, I would like to take Strath.
Ooh, okay.
He's got the vote bank advantage at the moment. I know that Lenny's got one as well, but I think that just based on how he's presenting himself at the moment, I think he's likable. I think he's going to have a lot of influence in his tribe. And I think that he's going to not necessarily be a target for at least the early part of the game. But I think that if he's able to secure himself a good group and move forward and play his advantage correctly, I think he could do some damage.
Yeah, I mean, of all of these players, Strat's the one that I wouldn't want to see in a redemption challenge. So you got to think that's going through all of their heads, especially in the tribe part of the game. Like
Yeah.
in season 2, they made the mistake of voting him out then, and then obviously he just came back and wanted to take out all the people that did him wrong. So always a risky move to take out Strat pre-merge. Okay, Matt. No, sorry, Team
No.
Warehouse. We're back to you with Tim.
Team Warehouse would like Theo, please.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good,
Okay.
Good choice. Good choice.
like Theo.
Okay, what was it about Theo that caught your eye?
I just think as a player, he's not overbearing, but he's obviously having conversations. So I feel like there are going to be different players that are going to like be voted out first in green, in my opinion. But yeah, I think he's going to do well in challenges, and I think he will be someone who people would want to keep around rather than target.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's one of only 3 players that cast a vote in episode 1, and yeah, he managed to avoid it himself. Looks like he could be in good with Carol there, so maybe there's a little alliance going on the Green tribe, which looks to be the tribe that perhaps will be weaker in the challenges. So maybe he'll need it. So we go back to Matt for the next double pick.
Okay, so I don't know how smart of a move this is, but I'm gonna keep it as a family affair, and I'm gonna go with the Dominator herself, Lizzie.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, doctor, so works well under pressure. She's got that family connection. She seems to be pretty insulated in the I've forgotten the name, Delphina tribe. Yeah, I think I think she could surprise us and turn on Lenny instead. A reverse of the reason I picked Lenny.
Yeah, I mean, she already had that. There was a little thing between her and Tommy at the start. That seems to be the only strategy talk we saw from the Purple Tribe. So maybe that'll bear fruit for her as well. Or at the very least, it shows that she's there to gain.
Yeah, and she won the advantage, right? So she was able to save somebody from the green safety without power. So also, if she makes it to the merge, that's a way to gain leverage with one of them, whichever one she sent out.
Yeah, that's true. She also chose not to save her brother in that instance.
Yeah, yeah. So this is why I like them. They're very ready to turn on each other.
Mm.
My next pick, I'm torn between a few, but I think
Tell us who you're torn between.
never. I think I'm gonna go.
Well, you only get one pick after this, so you've got to really lock in the 2 that you want somehow.
I think I want J-Bone.
Oh, come on.
J-Bone, the one player currently in possession of an immunity idol.
Yeah. I think as well, he's just very charismatic. I think he's got a lot of game in him, and I'm excited to see how he plays.
I think J-Bone will go far, or he'll be next voted out.
I hope it's the first thing you said. Not the second.
Okay, so high variance for J-Bone.
Is he quite familiar with the show, or is this like completely blind going into this?
I lived with J-Bone for quite a long time, so he knows it almost exclusively through me, but that is the same with pretty much every player here. So he
Yeah.
saw a bit of season two that he watched for himself, and then he sort of took all of the tips that I gave him pre-game, or at least, I hoped that he would. So I guess we'll have to see how that bears fruit. But what we do know is that he was smart enough to figure out the tropical advantage.
Mm.
So yeah, he's probably about as familiar with the game as most of our players that have played it a couple of times. Right, Survivor Warehouse.
I'm just trying to think whether Rob is going to pick my guy.
Yes, I am.
So Rob will get his last two picks on his next turn.
All right, no, I don't want to risk it. I'm going to pick Kai, please.
Okay.
Good choice.
I think Kai is one of those players who you're like, oh, he's very new, doesn't really kind of like know what's kind of going on, but you can already see in the confessionals and the way that he's like trying to like get information, or he has a very good read on situations. So I feel like it's worth taking a punt on Kai.
Yeah. Very valid. Okay, Rob, two picks. Your last two picks.
Okay. I don't want it to be a case of season 2 where one steamrolls over the other, but at the same time, I think Delfino's got the edge. So I would like for my fourth pick to be Tommy, only for the sake of it said already confused. I kind of want to pick Lachlan, but at the same time, I don't.
Oh yeah, Lachlan will unfortunately be getting the Debbie treatment because he never sent me his intro video, and I wasn't too sure what his job was at the time. So
Yeah.
He's just going to be getting something new for each confessional.
So it's difficult. I mean, do I go for another alum or do I go for a newbie?
Yes, obviously returning players still undrafted. We've got Isaac, we've got Ben, and we've got Oscar. And then our new players, we've got Bill, Carroll, and Lachlan.
Carroll was catching heat, and I don't really want my team to have people that are catching heat because Carroll was getting their name thrown out.
You got to take risks, Rob.
I do. So I'm going to go for the curly head god, Oscar.
Okay.
Nice. Oscar, who forgets he's doing a challenge and sits down.
That's absolutely fine. That means he can sit down and no one will pay any attention to him because he's
was
in his
great.
own little world.
It was iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a
Just
good
hung up
time with
on it.
Oscar in the wrap up podcast. So just to summarize, so Oscar thought he'd finished the reward challenge and sat down for a little while, then came back to win it somehow, despite having sat down for a good 10 minutes, then is immune, so they make him be the leader for the immunity challenge. He completely messes up the puzzle to the point where like he doesn't even move any of the puzzle pieces. There's also an advantage for him to find, and he's the only one that can see it, and he somehow fumbles that and ends up in Nanny's possession. So not ideal. And then just to top it all off, we were saying on the other podcast, spent the episode targeting JB, who doesn't leave. So not a great start for Oscar, but he's still in the game and did very well in season 1 and fine in season 2. So I'm sure if anyone can rally, it will be him.
Yeah.
I think he's a good choice.
I think Oscar was a bit of a dark horse for me. He was either going to be my next pick, like the last pick, or I wasn't going to pick him at all. So I think Rob just made that choice for me there.
Well, that's the thing, because you picked Theo.
Mm.
I wanted Theo, and then Oscar was my backup.
Yeah, well, I wanted Lenny. I wanted Lenny. I wanted Lenny, and I wanted Beth, and I wanted Strat. But you know, the game's the game. Yeah, I think where I'm going, I think it's just based on how I feel like the game's gonna go. So I'm gonna give it to Ben, I think, just because of that returning player kind of knowledge, and also because I feel like the people who are gonna go on that tribe are probably gonna be more newbies and the more loud members, I think. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going with here.
Okay. Ben Roberts, though, of course, in the episode, when Tommy leaned over and asked him if he wanted to be in his alliance, Ben refused and said, I'd kind of like to be a lone wolf, which we thought was emergent gameplay.
Yeah,
I
that
think
was a good moment.
I think
Am I-
Sat
Ben's
there.
he's got a pathway. I just wonder how he'll play it.
So Ben, the final member of Team Warehouse. So Pineapple Squad, you get either Carol, Isaac, Bill, or Lachlan, and I get the other three.
Yeah, I think I know who I want. Uh, and correct me if I'm wrong, I might have mixed up the people, but uh, Lachlan, when he got sent to tribal, turned to somebody and said, "Oh, at least we get to be in the council now." Right? And I thought that was so funny. He's just so excited to be in the council and then slowly realizes you don't want to be in the council. You don't want to go to tribal council. And that's why I'm going to lock in Lachlan as a wild card because that moment was genuinely funny.
Definitely a wild card there.
Yeah.
I'm devastated not to have Lachlan on my team, if I'm honest.
I'm
What do you-
hoping that he's being downplayed, that the fact that he doesn't know the game very well is going to mean people aren't going to target him early. We'll see how
Now that you've seen our picks, Mike, what do you think? Does anything surprise you? Is anything kind of telling?
I thought for sure I'd end up with Zhao on my team, not gonna lie. I thought there was a chance that maybe Rob would take him anyway. I think if you'd have told me pre-season that I'd end up with a team consisting of Carol, Isaac, and Bill, I'd have probably thought there's other players that I would back in the game more. But I'm not dissatisfied to end up with those three.
See, for me, Carol, it was catching heat after the challenge, and that just threw me off because if your name's getting thrown out round one, that to me is not a good sign that they're going to be long for the game.
Yeah, same definitely with Carol. They were just catching a lot of heat in that first episode. That makes me think that if they lose again, he's probably going to be heading out the door. And it wasn't
I guess.
anything against Isaac or Bill either. It was just just other people there I wanted to take a chance on.
Yeah, I guess quiet episode for Bill probably. I don't think he was really involved in too much, and then similar for Isaac, ends up at tribal, but yeah, just sort of quietly votes out Zhao, and then carried on with his day.
Don't remember much of Isaac or Bill, to be fair, which is a shame because one of the guys in our Survivor chat was like a huge fan of Bill, so they're going to be devastated.
Oh yeah.
Could we just acknowledge Tim's Delfino heavy draft, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh
And I fully stand behind it.
Do you know something?
No, I don't. I just think Delfino looked a bit stronger and coordinated in the challenges, so I think that'll be okay.
Yeah.
Considering the first challenge anyway.
Mm.
I think the only thing that happened in this draft that I was upset about was not having Beth, to be honest with you. I think Beth is a solid pick. I think she'll definitely win points.
Yeah.
I think she's a not even a dark horse because we're all very aware of her, but we don't know whether the game is aware of her. I think she's going to be very good. I think the cast in general is great. Like the dynamics between them. I like a repeat cast as well because there is kind of those season-long vendettas. Like people are boiling over from last season and they're ready to get some revenge, which I always like. But yeah, in general, I think it's going to be a really good season. I'm really excited to see how it all plays out after that first episode.
Yeah,
I
you
feel
don't want
like-
to be shafted by someone again that already shafted you the previous season.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I think after 3 seasons, you've got a lot of kind of returning players, so you probably can start talking about like different players who you think are very good at specifically Survivor Southampton. So you've got a little bit kind of like a Hall of Fame already.
Go on. Who's your favorite tribe? Be honest.
My favorite tribe. Oh, I mean, I can tell you who my winner pick was pre-season. I put my money on Lizzie. That's who I thought would come in and do it.
Well, I'm glad she's on my team. The Dominator. Is that why?
Yeah. I was unaware that would be the nickname that would be proposed in episode 1. You can read whatever you like into that, given that season 1, my winner pick won, but season 2, my winner pick was second out. So
It's impossible to tell, I think, with winner picks and drafts. Like you have very limited information to go off.
Yeah, like
the
things just
game
happen
changes.
in a game, right? And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden someone finds an advantage, or they find an immunity and they play it right, or someone says a wrong conversation. That's
Yeah.
why we love Survivor.
Yeah. Two people you didn't expect to start speaking, and then all of a sudden someone else's game blows up because they've secrets or something. Yeah, it's great.
Oh, what did we think of the vote banker advantage? So the premise of it is that if you refer to yourself in the third person at tribal council, then you can bank your votes for that. You can just bank that vote so that tribal you don't vote, you don't put anything in the urn, and then and you can continue banking votes for as long as you want. But then when you want to play them, you have to play them all in one go. So I thought a fun little wrinkle with it kind of it's sort of a bit of a gambling thing, like how many can you go before you think I'm gonna have to play this all? Maybe I should I vote this round? Should I not vote this round?
I like it. It reminds me of the Beware advantage, which is good. It's a nice little wrinkle to it, and it doesn't really draw attention to themselves as well when speaking in the third person. Whereas something if it's a bit more outlandish, they might just go, actually, what they're talking about. So I think it's a nice subtle twist, and then it kind of throws a wrench into plans moving forward.
Yeah, I think it's clever to do it as the third person thing for that reason. It's not too obvious, but after a few times, somebody's going to clock on and be a bit like, why do they keep doing that? Especially in a group where there's already people who kind of know each other. I think it works. I think if it was a group of complete strangers, you might just think that person is just a bit odd. But when it's like, I know you and I know you don't do this, so why do you keep doing this? But I don't know if in the game my brain would go to, oh, they have an advantage and they have to do it. I don't. So I think that's interesting as to, are they going to figure it out? I think once one gets used and everybody realizes, then the heat's going to be on the other person who has it.
But then also you get situations like, I mean, this tribal council where you notice that people aren't voting, but yeah, at some point you might get yourself caught out by that. And yeah, obviously, I mean, Lenny played it right at the start of that tribal council, so he didn't realize that it was actually only going to go down to 5 people voting. So again, even more of a gamble already. I think as a host, I had a pretty good grasp of where all of the idols were at any point, and I was quite good. Like even if someone was about to find something, I'd be able to catch them in the act at almost every occasion. This I was just so terrible at. I was spending my whole time trying to think of what's the next question to ask at tribal council. That if he's talking into the person, I've got absolutely no idea. So I think at the end of that round, I had to go up and say to him, "Hi, what did you say that was in the third person?" Obviously in a very subtle way that wasn't obvious to the rest of the players. But yeah, made it a bit tricky for myself there. Does anyone have any final thoughts on anything else?
No, just thanks for having us on. I think this is the first time 4 of us have all chatted in a group call. So very grateful for the opportunity and what may come in the future as well. Obviously, we know the UK LRG scene is not very big, but it's cool to find like fellow people who are very passionate about the game as well.
We do. Can we promote? Can we self promote?
Yeah, go for it. Say what you like.
You know,
I'll obviously cut it, but
Mike, if you are interested, you would like to play Survivor Game UK. We are casting for our 4th season, the back end of this year. Instagram at Survivor Game UK.
Oh, it's going to be this year. Crazy.
Yeah, we're going to cast in December.
Oh no! But are you going to play this year?
Well, no, we're going to play next year, but we're going to
sick.
start casting in December.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Exciting. It's really fun.
Well,
we can
would recommend.
Yeah.
And what's yours, Matthew?
Well, we're not casting just yet, to be fair, because we're still editing season 9, hopefully to be done soon. But yes, you can follow us on at the Butler Games. We don't post all that often. Hopefully that will change as we move forward. But yeah, next season we are kind of wanting to branch out to find new players, particularly others from the LRG scene. So any of the Survivor Southampton people listening to this right now who might be interested in coming to play a similar game, but where you can have a drink, give me a call.
Tim, do you have anything planned?
I don't know. So I recently had a kid. My baby turned 1 year old, and yeah, he's a lot more of my focus and priority at the moment. I would love to if the opportunity arose. I think I'll just keep kind of thinking and considering whether we have the capacity to, and if we do, we'd love to have a bit more kind of open casting again. So more different people who don't know each other in the essence of real Survivor, where you don't know each other and you're really trying to assess socially and strategically how to play. But I guess in the future we would love to have kind of like favorites or like all stars come back, in which you might see certain people in current seasons come back.
Obviously, we'll have to reconvene at the end of the season to figure out exactly who ends up winning this draft, who wins Rob's bus. Maybe he just keeps them. Maybe I might win them if Carol, Bill, and Isaac pull through for me, which I'm sure they will. So go for it, guys. Maybe maybe we could do something mid-season as well. Maybe just after the redemption challenge, that might be a good opportunity to tally up everything that's happened up to that point. But yes, well, thank you so much for joining me, Survivor experts. And yeah, I guess I'll be seeing you very soon. So see you later.
See you later.
All right.